Hi, my name is Michal and I'm the Bio-Inspiration Education Coordinator at the Ramat Gan Zoological Center and a PhD candidate at the Education for Science and Technology faculty at the Technion in Israel. On the night of November the 9th, I was 7 years old. I didn't understand much, but I do remember clearly the look on my parents' face when they were watching the news. They told me it's the beginning of a new era, but I didn't really understand what it meant. On the first meeting of the Bio-Inspiration Educational Program at the Ramat Gan Zoological Center, a young man came to me and said,
"Look, I'm not into science. I don't care about engineering. I only enrolled this course at the zoo so I can take some nice selfies with animals. I thought we might hug a lion or something. And if I have to listen to you talk about science, then so be it."
Well, I guess that wasn't the best way to open my new project. But what if we could use this passion and curiosity visitors feel for wildlife to engage them with science, engage people with nature and biodiversity conservation? What if we could embrace the zoo visitors' excitement of being close to animals and use their emotion to break the walls between science, design, and education? This is where bio-inspiration education at the zoo comes into play. Bio-inspiration or biomimicry is an interdisciplinary methodology in which biological and ecological principles are applied in innovative, sustainable design. For example, self-cleaning hydrophobic surfaces inspired by the lotus leaves, or even the most everyday Velcro inspired by bars on a dog's fur. Bio-inspiration at the zoo is part of lifelong science and environmental learning. Participants are diverse in age, gender, and professional background. They enroll a series of meetings, observe animals that have inspired engineers and designers, and have direct contact with them when possible. They are looking for interesting phenomena, structure, functions, and behavior. For example, while observing the giraffes, participants learned about their circularity system. They went into the zookeeper's behind-the-scenes zone, hand-fed the giraffe, felt the structure of their tongue, and thought about their own creative invention. This experience was inspirational. In my PhD research, supervised by Professor Tali Tal at the Faculty of Education in Science and Technology at the Technion, we asked what are the perceived benefits in engaging bio-inspiration program at the zoo. Our findings showed that participants expressed social, emotional aspects of learning, learned new scientific knowledge, and expressed environmental and social dispositions, including biodiversity conservation, sustainable behavior.
Bio-inspiration forces us to think about the way we use resources, material, and energy efficiency. It also makes you think about the uniqueness of biodiversity and the need to protect it.
That was such an amazing experience to see a penguin so close, its behavior and structure. You don't usually notice these things when you just come to the zoo. It almost looks like an evolutionary failure. Walks so clumsy, looks like an easy prey, but then you realize this structure is hydrodynamic. And now I understand why it was such a good and efficient idea to imitate it for an underwater robotic application.
But what surprised us the most was that participants not only learned new scientific knowledge, but they also improved transfer thinking skills. They understood and applied transfer as inherent to the bio-inspiration practice, analyzed, evaluated, and used creative and critical thinking.
I think penguins could really give good inspiration to things that have to stay stable and not necessarily fast, but with a good center of gravity. Maybe something like forklifts or wheelchairs. Yeah, I think penguins can really be a good inspiration for those.
Bio-inspiration education at the zoo is beyond a buzzword. It's an innovative approach to engage public with both science and the environment.
You know, some of this stuff were really cool, like the antibacterial surface inspired by the shark skin or the medical devices inspired by the porcupine quills.
Bio-inspiration education at the zoo allows professionals such as engineers, designers, and educators in science and environment, but also non-professionals and the general public to a different look at the natural world. Zoos, aquariums, botanical gardens, and science museums all over the world provide a microcosm of the living world and can invite visitors to experience new kind of interdisciplinary learning inspired by nature. It invites you to break the walls between science and nature, society and biodiversity. Thank you very much.